Good evening, truth seekers. Tonight we delve into the chilling depths of the human psyche, into a mind so twisted, so consumed by darkness, that it leaves behind a trail of unthinkable horrors and a trove of unanswered questions. We're going to talk about a monster whose name echoes with cannibalism, cross-dressing, and a terrifying legacy of suspected victims that may number in the dozens. This is the story of Hadden Clark, a self-proclaimed cross-dressing cannibal, and the sinister secrets he keeps locked away. This video was made in collaboration with the channel Obsidian Murmurs. If you are interested in hearing a first-hand account from one of the cross-dressing Cannibal-E's victims, check his channel out, link in the description. The unremarkable beginning of a monster. Hadden Clark was born in 1952 into a seemingly ordinary family, though marked by mental health struggles and a history of abuse. From a young age, unsettling patterns emerged. He displayed a disturbing fascination with women's clothing and struggled with severe paranoid schizophrenia, a condition that would become a flimsy shield for his grotesque actions. Despite a brief stint in the Navy, Clark drifted through life, marked by petty crimes, homelessness, and a deepening descent into delusion and depravity. No one suspected the depths of the evil brewing beneath his unassuming exterior. The first victims and the disturbing modus operandi. Clark's true reign of terror began in the late 1980s. His first known victim was Laurel E. Chance, a 6-year-old girl in Maryland in 1986. Her dismembered remains were found, but the case went cold for years. He struck again in 1992, claiming the life of Michelle Dorr, a 23-year-old woman, also in Maryland. It was the disappearance of another young woman, Sarah Hurley, in 1993 that finally brought Hadden Clark into the spotlight. His modus operandi was as disturbing as his crimes. Clark would often don women's clothing, not merely as a disguise, but as a crucial part of his escalating fantasies. He would lure his victims, often vulnerable individuals, to secluded locations. Once there, the facade would drop, revealing the predator beneath. The violence was extreme, often involving strangulation, dismemberment, and most horrifically, acts of cannibalism. Clark would later confess to consuming the flesh of his victims and drinking their blood, believing it would grant him power or prevent him from being caught. The confession and the bucket of trophies. Clark's capture for Sarah Hurley's murder led to a series of chilling confessions. He didn't just confess to her murder. He began to recount details of other disappearances, often with a disturbing lack of remorse. It was during these interrogations that he revealed the existence of his bucket of trophies, a collection of over 200 pieces of jewelry he had buried in his mother E's garden. Each piece, he claimed, belonged to a different victim. Imagine the horror. A single bucket filled with rings, necklaces, and earrings, each representing a life brutally extinguished, a family left in agonizing uncertainty. Authorities were overwhelmed. This wasn't just a handful of murders. Clark implied a victim count that could potentially stretch into the dozens, if not more. The unresolved mysteries and the claim of more victims. Despite his confessions, many of Clark's claims were never fully corroborated. He was ultimately convicted of 2 murders, Laurel E. Chance and Michelle Dorr, and for the attempted murder of a cellmate. But the bucket of trophies presented a stark, undeniable fact. There were far more victims than Clark was ever charged with. Many of the jewelry pieces found in that garden have never been linked to identified missing persons. This is where the mystery and madness truly deepens. Clark consistently insisted he had killed many more. He would draw crude maps, offer cryptic clues, and sometimes recant, playing a macabre game with investigators. He once mailed a letter to a newspaper stating, "I killed the girls and I killed the boys. I have nothing to tell but a bucket of trophies." The true extent of his depravity remains unknown, a shadow hanging over countless unsolved disappearances across several states. The legacy of a nightmare. Hadden Clark remains incarcerated, a chilling testament to the darkness that can lurk within the human heart. His case raises uncomfortable questions about how many victims are truly out there, whose families still yearn for answers, their loved ones represented only by a piece of jewelry in a forgotten bucket. The cross-dressing cannibal, the blood drinker, the trophy collector. Hadden Clark reminds us that some monsters are not confined to fiction. They walk among us, their secrets buried perhaps forever. Good night, truth seekers. And remember, sometimes the greatest horrors are the ones we may never fully comprehend.